me and the media propaganda, half the country doesn't know what to believe about anything. Regardless of what the police say about this incident, there's going to be half the internet that's not going to trust anything that they say. Half the people in this country believe Joe Biden was sharp as a tack up until the day he was forced out of his presidential run. Half the people in this country didn't believe the border was a problem for 3 years. They didn't believe there was any problem at the southern border. So it's a powder keg. Our country is extremely divided, and I'm really sad to hear this news.
Real quick, you guys. So Hannity is live right now. I'm going to play this. You guys can listen to it just 1 second.
The call was very clear. The first thing the president did when he got back to the clubhouse was make sure that everybody else was okay. He didn't see his golf partner with him. Where's Steve? Where's Steve? Where's Steve? And then Steve says, I'm right here. He got in maybe a few minutes.
I'm up on the speaker panel.
Did you write it down? Was able to get everybody.
Can you guys hear? I'm playing.
Yeah, it sounds good. Keep playing it. Keep playing it.
Yeah, like I don't know why you would do that. Like who would do that?
Steve Woodcock was very clear. The first thing the president did when he got back to the clubhouse was make sure that everybody else was okay. He didn't see his golf partner with him. Where's Steve? Where's Steve? Where's Steve? And then Steve says, I'm right here. He got in maybe a few minutes behind the president. The Secret Service was able to get everybody to safety. Everybody else was taken off the golf course. Then when the president found out everybody was safe and nobody had been harmed, I guess in typical fight fashion, Trump said to Steve, and then he related to me, I really wanted to finish the hole. I was even, and I had a birdie putt, and it was on the fifth hole, which shows a lot of I think guts and gumption and very Trumpian, I guess, in every way. But the good news we can report is that in spite of this being in such close proximity to the president and others and the Secret Service, that they were not harmed and that they are in safety. And I know the investigation will go forward. Probably more details, I would imagine, as time unfolds.
Yeah, anytime I'm streaming, don't start talking and I'll immediately boot you off the stage. So there you have it. Dude, Trump is a savage, right? Like, immediately, man, I wish I could have finished the hole. I had such a good game. Like, dude, that is Trump 100%. After he checked on everybody's safety, right? Like, that is, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the guy is just, man, I don't want to send him too hard, man, but I fucking love that guy.
Look, man, if you interrupt my birdie putt, I'm going to be pretty pissed too. Mostly because, if I'm being honest, that doesn't happen very often. But, so if you interrupt me when I'm ever. So if you interrupt my birdie putt, if God forbid I ever get that close, I'll be pretty pissed off too.
But it sounds like at first he didn't know where the shots were coming from, checking on his golf partner. Imagine the PTSD feelings, right? Like, this just happened to him. He just was shot at, hit, right? And now he hears gunshots again and he's worried about his friend immediately. The fact that he's even being put through that is crazy. And his reaction of golfing, that's too good. I mean, it makes me feel a little bit better because you don't want him mentally shaken from this, right? The idea that he's joking shortly after definitely makes me feel a lot better.
Yo, I could definitely see Donald Trump like hearing the shots and just like grabbing his putter and like bringing it back like a baseball bat and go, all right, where are they? Where are they? Let's go. Like, just getting ready to swing on somebody.
This was a man who wanted to get his shoes so the media wouldn't have a picture of him being dragged away shoeless for a negative image like seconds after he was actually shot. So I'm not surprised by Trump's statement there. Let me get my shoes. This is the let me get my birdie putt in. It's the new meme.
Yeah, that's the next t-shirt. Let me get my putt in.
He's going to be holding the golf club up in the air like he did his fist. That is going to be it. That is going to be the next one. I guarantee it. Let's go to Patty. Go ahead, Patty.
Man, thank you guys. I was just writing a post about...
I can't hear him talking. Is he talking?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear him.
Talking, Dylan.
I'm going to drop you down. I'll bring you right back up, Patty. Sorry about that.
Joey, I'll drop you. I see more people wanting to get up, so I'll drop down.
Well, thank you, Cheryl. Love you. Go ahead, Zulu.
Yeah, it looks like whatever happened at the Trump National, which is in a pretty bad part of the city. West Palm Beach has extraordinarily wealth and has a terrible part of the town. So it seems like it was not close to Mar-a-Lago. That area is extraordinarily affluent, as you would imagine. So it does seem like that's a very crime-ridden neighborhood. So one would say that it might be local crime that's happening.
Yeah, but in the golf course though, like in the golf course, I can see it outside the golf course, but to have the rifles in the premises, I don't know, bro.
Well, some of those golf courses are pretty close to the street, so you can see that. I mean, it's just south of the Palm Beach International Airport, and that's a really bad area. So it could be, one would say that it could be close to it. So I'll just put a little bit of context here.
Yeah,
okay, guys, can I jump in here with some news?
It still doesn't make any sense that they would be able to get into a location where Trump is at, right? Regardless of where it's located, it could be in the middle of Iraq. There shouldn't be any reason why somebody could get that close to the former president with a firearm. Go ahead, Jared.
Okay, so this just changes what we've been talking about, because according to Brian Stelter, and this is CNN law enforcement sources.
Why should we believe a damn thing Brian Stelter?
It's not just Brian Stelter, but CNN's law enforcement team
Can you spit it out?
Is saying that officials believe the shots fired at Trump International Golf Club were intended for former President Trump. So CNN is reporting this news now.
Okay, now I believe Brian Stelter.
Well, now we need to breaking. Can you try to verify that?
Yeah, I can confirm that. That's exactly what we're hearing.
Wow. I mean, honestly, how random is it that two guys would be having a gun battle outside of the Trump golf course as Trump is golfing? The fact that anybody fell for that is stupid on its face. Come on.
I mean, there's some pretty shitty neighborhoods around there.
And I was...
Yeah, but why would they be on the golf course? It still doesn't make any sense. It's not even logical that they would go have a firefight on the golf course just because the neighborhood's shitty. Like, I still don't... It doesn't make any sense.
Well, Diligent, I think the story is NBC News for the last 20 minutes have just been telling us that it has nothing to do with Trump. And now CNN is saying it does. So someone in the mainstream media ball...
Yeah, but this is what we're seeing, because it happened last night when CNN put out that statement attacking the Harris HQ account here on Twitter, or on X, because they have been putting out false, misleading, and edited information. So you have the CNN attacking the official X account of the Harris HQ, saying that they're putting out misleading facts, right? CNN is actually standing up and going, the mainstream media is so far out of control in what they are doing against President Trump that even CNN is like, yo guys, this is a step too far.
And just some more news here.
Jared, was that on TV, or do we have a link to that? Because
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt. We have a statement from the White House. Yes. Can everyone hear me?
Go breaking.
All right, so the White House is saying that the president and vice president have been briefed about the security incident at the Trump International Golf Course where former President Trump was golfing. They are relieved to know that he is safe. They will be kept regularly updated by their team.
So they were updating to tell how their plan went.
It's 3:15. Joe Biden ain't awake yet.
Well, obviously, we don't know. Obviously, this has any connection with the White House, but I just think the story, because BBC News and you had all of these accounts, and obviously they were going based on the reporting that it had they said 15 times it had no connection with Donald Trump. You even had Secret Service spokesperson, I don't know his name, he came out and said, trying to say that the county sheriff, and we saw that last time in the Butler shooting, where the federal government tried to throw the local government and state police in Pennsylvania under the bus. Also,
well, wait a second, Jared. On that, the Palm Beach County Sheriff is the longest-serving Democrat sheriff in the nation.
I'm not saying that he's showcasing his Democrat, but I'm saying that obviously the Secret Service is the department that protects Trump, not any, city officials.
Or shoots at him.
But there is some news here. I'm just going to read this. It says the Secret Service identified the direction of the shots and returned fire at the gunmen who fled. Witnesses were able to provide a description of the individual and a vehicle. We are told that a vehicle that is close to that description has been stopped, and that is by CNN.
So you're telling me the Secret Service jumped in between some guys, some accordingly skinny crackheads gunfight, so the Secret Service just like got involved in that? Is that really what NBC is reporting?
Well, that's what I was telling you. So Fox News, I told you the Secret Service had a drone, right? And the guy threw the gun in the bush, and then they instantly went after this car and they were apprehending him. So it looks like CNN is reporting on that as well.
So if they had a drone up, why was he able to once again get shots off at the president if they were able to immediately say where the gun is? Like, this is so
exactly within 10 seconds they could have that footage. That's crazy.
Like, are you freaking kidding me? Just like we got the picture of the guy inside the window with the gunman squatting outside. Like, oh, that wasn't weird.
What about the?
Let's not stop that guy.
Did we get the update, the press release yet? Because that was supposed to come out.
It's going to be a press conference, I'm told. I'm looking. It's going to be a press conference. I'm going to try to see if anyone can find the feed and post it.
Having any luck on that front?
Yeah, I'm just waiting. I've got Fox queued up. So whenever Fox throws to it, I'll just cut in.
But this also means, guys, that Trump was told a lie because according to Sean Hannity, Sean Hannity, by the way, he lives in Florida as well. He spoke with Donald Trump right after this, I believe. And that means Trump did not know. According to CNN, they're saying, obviously that the two gunmen, they were after Trump. So, I just hope we get some more answers because we saw what happened last time in that congressional hearing. We saw that woman, lie herself off. She did not answer any questions. I think the Secret Service director is Ronald Rowe Jr. The spotlight is definitely going to be on him tomorrow on Monday morning.
Hang on, I have an update now that you have me following Brian Schultz's post. It says that all of this info is preliminary, but, quote, in the area of the shooting, sources say they recovered a backpack and a semi-automatic rifle and a GoPro camera. The camera suggests that this individual may have wanted to record himself in the first person, end quote.
That's insane. If that's true, that's absolutely insane. Shori,
holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, like, what happens to someone at the Secret Service the second time somebody's taking a shot at this guy? Like, I mean, even if you gave them the benefit of the doubt in Butler, which I don't think anybody in here is, break and go.
No, you finished your sentence. I was just going to recap for those joining. So
yeah, no, I mean, even if you gave them the benefit of the doubt in Butler, okay, now you screwed up twice. Like, at what point, they wonder why people think the craziest possible outcome. Maybe it's because you let somebody shoot at the president twice in 2 months? Like, at what point does someone go to jail over this? At what point do people start actually losing their jobs, not resigning with their 20-year pension and their 3-quarter medical?
We should be demanding resignations today. No excuses. Yeah. No, nothing. We should be demanding resignations right now.
Not just so wait, Diligent. So did Hannity say that he was on the 5th hole? If someone can pull up a map of the Trump International Golf Course in Palm Beach to see where the 5th hole is in comparison to the road, and the vicinity of that, I think that would be really helpful.
I have some news for you guys. Hi everyone. The shooting was around his residency while Trump was in his golf club. So Trump is safe, and found out from Telegram that actually the shooting had nothing.
Sorry.
You're.
What are you talking about? You need to go read your updates, bro.
Let's go to breaking. If you can give us a recap, I just want to welcome everybody. Hold on, Kevin. I just want to welcome everybody. Thank you guys all for playing. Unless you got the press conference.
No, I got the map.
Okay, so yeah. Bottom right corner, repost the space. But yeah, obviously there's been shots fired at President Trump's golf course in West Palm Beach. Breaking, go ahead and recap for us. Thank you.
Sure, and thank you for everyone who tuned in this afternoon. The former president, about an hour ago, appears to have been the subject of a second assassination attempt on his golf course in West Palm Beach, Florida. Originally, the New York Post suggested that this was a gunfight in the vicinity of his golf course and that the president was safe. We do know that the president is safe. However, he was playing golf at the time where shots were fired. The New York Post now reporting the Secret Service engaged fire with an individual who appears to have had a semi-automatic weapon. That person has since fled the area, and a manhunt is underway. A vehicle description has been sent out, and one matching that description may have been located. That's what we know so far. It's a developing story, and it's going to develop further. We know from the Secret Service and local law enforcement that they will be briefing the public, hopefully televised. Advisors to the former president this morning, unrelated to any incidents or politically, just as a friendly meetup following the former president and his team's return from a Salt Lake City, Utah campaign event late last night. And he's been in touch back and forth, with those people, giving some more detail. But that's what we know so far, a very significant incident. The New York Post originally reporting that this was not related to the former president, and then CNN now confirming through their law enforcement sources that this was potentially intended, targeted the former president. Yet again, it comes just 2 months and 2 days after the assassination attempt on his life in Butler, Pennsylvania. It also comes after a weekend of much debate following the presidential debate between him and Vice President Kamala Harris over statements that he and Senator J.D. Vance, the Republican vice presidential nominee, made about Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio, related to them potentially kidnapping and eating people's pets, as well as just statements that the president made this morning on Truth Social that have garnered a lot of attention. So this will be developing throughout the afternoon. We're going to learn more shortly, and the former president is safe at his golf course. We don't know if he's going to be moved, and we also don't know critical questions right now, like how close was this alleged shooter to the former president? How was he able to get onto property? What steps are being taken now to further bolster the former president's security? If you recall, after the Butler shooting, the former president's Secret Service detail was increased tremendously. And before that, it was increased again following threats on his life that was identified by NBC News just 2 weeks before the shooting. And so we also know other political candidates, their Secret Service protection was increased as well. Vice President Kamala Harris, I was with her motorcade in Philadelphia just last week. I could tell you it was absolutely enormous, and as it should be. We want all of our protectees to be as safe as they possibly can be. Additionally, in that time following the Butler shooting, independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was temporarily granted Secret Service protection. He has since been drawn back after he semi-suspended his race and endorsed former President Trump and pulled his name, or attempted to pull his names, off of the ballots in the swing states to give the former president the best chance of taking his percentage point of votes. And so we'll see if anything changes there, but clearly a very dramatic and developing situation unfolding in West Palm Beach, Florida, truly alarming to many Americans as they tune into the news this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you for that breaking. Well said, sir. Make sure you guys are following him. He has the red PFP with the newspaper up on here. Kevin, did you got the map up? I'm going to go to this clip from Brian Seltzer, the one that's they're saying is they're claiming that it was directed towards Trump. We'll listen to that and then we'll go. Usually I don't play clips, but I think it's important.
So, I'll caveat this with this is unfolding rapidly, so all of this information is preliminary, and it may shift and change as we've seen before. But what we are looking at is starting to come into focus a little more sharply. So this is what we have right now from law enforcement sources who have been briefed on this, and it appears that around 2 o'clock, shots were fired at the golf course, possibly coming from the tree line while former President Trump was playing golf. The Secret Service identified the direction and the shooter returned fire at that gunman who fled. Witnesses were able to provide a description of an individual and a vehicle. We are told that a vehicle that is close to that description has been stopped by Palm Beach County police, possibly in Martin County, just over the line, and that they are holding that individual for the purposes of identification.
Purposes of identification, my ass better be locked up. Go ahead. Kevin, do you? So we have a pretty good description of what happened there. It sounds like local PD got to him first before Secret Service did. So the description of it being two locals firing at each other. No, it was one person and then Secret Service firing back at him. Like the initial reporting is asinine. Like, why would you even say that?
That's what I'm saying, right, Diligent? Like the fact that there was a gun battle. The Secret Service engaged the shooter on a golf course in West Palm Beach, Florida. Now, I understand West Palm Beach is a little ghetto, okay, but like where that golf course is, okay, like, are you kidding? Like, have you ever been to those golf courses? You think someone's just randomly fucking firing on a golf course?
I don't think we should share the picture. I don't know, security, I don't know, but like, I want to give everybody an idea.
It's probably on the website.
Okay, no problem.
It's on the website.
Yeah, I pulled it from Trump International Palm Beach.
My bad.
Let other people look for it and do the work.
Yeah, no, I put it up there. So I put it up there. People, it looks like, judging by the photo on the website, it doesn't appear. We've all played golf, and there's holes that are along the street. This doesn't seem to be like remotely near the street. There's two water traps to the right, woods off to the left. There looks like there's a hedgerow by the green. It's a 229-yard par 3. It's a really long par 3. But it doesn't appear that there's any sort of street.
And because I think we are talking about a cover-up right now, because I'm so angry because NBC News and MSNBC were, once we found out that information, Breaking 4 News and, Penny was like, I'm level-headed in this now, right? Because obviously it wasn't a target. And then 5 minutes out, we found out that CNN is saying it was directly a target. So this is like, reminding me of like, Nixon vibes right now. The cover up.
To be fair, weren't they quoting the New York Post at first, though?
Yeah, it was the New York Post that said this, but
guys,
I think the media.
Jared, to be fair, if you're upset like this, we all should be freaking outraged, guys. Jared is pissed off and saying it's a cover up. Like, if he's saying it, we should be freaking outraged.
I think, we listen to, especially when we're having these spaces, like usually when it comes to assassinations and like, mass shootings, usually it's not far-fetched to listen to the media, right? Usually they do get it right. But by the way, Diligent, when you played John Miller, just for the people in here, he's the chief law enforcement officer. He served in New York City. And when CNN hired him, there was a lot of people that did not want him to be a part of the team. So I think we're dealing with some serious things right now, and I'm just going to urge people to get your gear together, because I think this week is going to be very, very tough. And I want to know, where is the second suspect? And this press conference better be telling, because we remember the first press conference from the Butler shooting, Secret Service was not present. They better put the Secret Service advisor on Zoom or something. But there should be a press conference that gives the American people. We are 51 days from an election. There's early voting happening this week, and Americans need to know the truth.
Yeah, this is bananas. Like the idea that we haven't heard anything about the first shooting now, and there's a second one. You talked about demanding resignations. I demand answers. Like, I want to know what the hell is going on. This is completely crazy. Like, forget about people getting fired. right? Like, people need to be put in jail, and Americans need to know what the hell is happening. How the hell are they taking another shot at Trump? Like, come on, everybody knows that he's like in danger right now. How the hell is someone with a gun getting this close? Who the hell is running the Secret Service? And like, I don't know what we have to do, but Americans deserve the truth. Silence in this case is absolutely unacceptable. Like, I don't even know what else to say. Like, this is crazy. Another assassination attempt? Really? Wow.
Penny, why did so many mainstream media outlets immediately try to discredit the idea that Trump was the target? They didn't even wait 10 minutes. That has to be coordinated at some level within between the New York Post and all these different articles that immediately said, oh, this was a skinny white crackhead in a gunfight with another guy in the parking lot. How does that spread to multiple mainstream media outlets within minutes of an event like this happening?
But this is what's been going on the whole time, Decisive. This is what they do every single time, and take it from someone who's always out there ready to go and be like, no, it was a cover-up. I get shut down all the time, and the amount of times where it's like, oh no, actually, they were lying at first to cover up what was really happening. This is the mainstream media who's supposed to be the litmus test for this country to say, this is what's real, this is what's fake, this is what's going on, this is what's not going on. And we have them actively lying to the American people about a man's life who was just, for the second time, almost assassinated. When are you going to get pissed off, people?
Jen,
do we have to be dead?
Not just that, I had people in my comments criticizing me for posting Protect Donald Trump, saying, why are you freaking people out? He wasn't even the target. Like, you know what?
And that's exactly the point of the misinformation by the mainstream media, right? That just shows you how effective it is, because there are people who will eat that stuff up hook, line, and sinker. And that is exactly the problem with media. We have to hold these institutions accountable, especially when it comes to this level of information. Like, this is critical. This is absolutely critical. We cannot have a functioning society if our media is allowed to lie to us about the most important things as they happen. We have to find some way to hold them accountable. I want to welcome Jim Verdi up to the stage real quick. He's the producer of the Dan Bongino Show. So, Jim, I want to get your take on what we're looking at here.
Well, I texted Dan just to see what his response is going to be. He's already sent something for the show tomorrow, and I haven't heard back from him necessarily. I'm sure he's watching all the news and everything, but he said over and over again, because he knows people on Trump's detail. And he said, no protectee in the history of protectees has had a higher threat level against them than Donald Trump. And the inadequacy of the protection that's around him right now.
He's a big political terrorist. You know, you all just say he incited like this democratic problem, what do they say? He's a threat to democracy. Well, you don't really feel that way because y'all were calling him and apologizing.
Well, they literally compare him to Hitler and call him a Nazi regularly, right? This is the rhetoric. Do you guys remember after the first attempt, they said that the rhetoric was going to cool it off, like they were going to chill on the rhetoric? It's intensified. Did you see the debate? Look at the debate. She was literally saying that he was responsible for Project 2025 when that's a blatant lie, right? And some of the things in there, people find they correlate that with that type of fascism or Nazism. So she's on national television being propped up by the mainstream media to tell these lies. And then again, I think it's kind of funny that the ABC, this is something we haven't talked about, the ABC whistleblower came out today and signed a legal affidavit where they can be held for perjury in front of members of Congress, and at the same time, that's overshadowing this. We cannot forget that. That cannot get memory hold right now, because that is a part of this story. Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out that Doug Emhoff, the second gay gentleman of the United States, He was doing an event where he came out and he was talking about right after the debate the other night, and he goes, Donald Trump got his ass beat so bad in the debate that he would have thought he was in Pennsylvania. That's literally what this guy said on the stage. This is the second gentleman of the United States poking fun at Donald Trump for nearly getting assassinated in Pennsylvania 2 months to the day almost exactly when he said this. Like, the rhetoric coming out of the left, like, they want to talk about our rhetoric, right? They wanted to go after us for January 6th and saying fight and we're going to win, like, go and fight, right? Like, they said that, but meanwhile, you could have the left come out and literally call for violence, and the media goes, oh, don't worry, they're peacefully protesting. They're peacefully using their First Amendment.
So I don't know if you guys read this yet, but Charlie Kirk said that sources I spoke with informed me that the United States Secret Service advance team was scouting the holes ahead of President Trump as he was golfing. Agents spotted the suspect in the tree line in possession of a semi-automatic rifle, which they believed to be an AK-47 or similar. The agents either exchanged fire with him, or else it was only the agent shooting at the suspect. This remains unclear. The suspect immediately fled into the trees and initially managed to evade agents, but was quickly apprehended. So this we know, but what we didn't know was that the agents were ahead of Trump and they actually did spot the shooter.
That's amazing news if it's true. I mean, it makes me feel a little bit better about his safety.
Well, no, Penny, it's not. You know why? I think that's actually not enough, right? If you think about perimeters, prior to President Trump hitting the golf course, the perimeter should have been swept, which is a normal thing they do for President Obama, President Bush, and these are former presidents just like President Trump. The heightened security around President Obama remains very high because of his increasing visibility and his enormous notoriety. So I call bullshit. Sure, it's great that they're doing all this work, but the perimeter should have been swept prior, and then the fact and proceeding of them being ahead of him should have been an additional layer of protection for the president. So when it comes to the Secret Service, I think that this is a clear example. I love the men and women of the Secret Service. They do a thankless job, but I gotta give criticism. The training they're receiving is subpar because you got to look at this for what it is. Zoom meetings and DEI bullshit that they're being subject to is making them less effective at their job. Real quick, Diligent, let me just finish this.
Well, I think we got Chad. Do you have the press conference? Chad.
I have it ready. I can turn it on, but they're not doing it yet.
Any time that the press conference starts, go ahead and just cut right over anybody. Go ahead, George. I'm sorry.
All right. So to make this point is, imagine if Quantico decided to go virtual and start training our FBI agents virtually with all of this DEI bullshit. We wouldn't really have the greatest intelligence. We'd have a bunch of idiots fucking running intelligence in this country. So, Penny, I agree with you. It gives me somewhat like it's a good feeling that they're ahead of him, a hole ahead. But the reality is the perimeter should be swept beforehand, and then that should be an enhancement. Had the perimeter been swept, this guy wouldn't have been there. And the fact that this guy was able to evade Secret Service agents to begin with and have to be caught at a later time by other agents is abso-fucking-lutely embarrassing. This is going to request another oversight hearing. It's going to be another spectacle. This shit is
it going to be as effective as the last one? Because I'm not impressed.
I think heads are going to roll again. Yes, I do believe so. Because if you can't protect your protectee at a random normal activity such as golfing, then let alone at a public outdoor event. He's about to do Butler again in a couple of weeks. Are we not literally taking this serious? This shows that it's not being taken serious. He's about to go back to Butler to finish unfinished business, to memorialize the lives that were lost there and people who were injured and the horrors that happened on American soil, on our American electoral democracy in Butler, Pennsylvania. He's going to go back there. Do you not think that there's a bunch of fucking sick psychopaths around the country that are like, I'm going to finish what we couldn't, I forgot that murderer's name already, couldn't, what he started. Of course there is. So you got to understand that these people are failing in the past. It's like but
your implication would suggest that that it's not intentional. It's not incompetence. If you assign incompetent security, you could just
Diligent. It's not a matter of competency. It's a matter of qualification. Are the agents
it doesn't matter, but those are semantics, right? The problem is that if you assign incompetent, which means incapable security.
Look, I'm gonna push back on that. Here's why. I know some of President Trump's security detail. I've been around President Trump for years, and I know some of them. I know them in first name basis. They're regulars around him. They're not incompetent. They're not. Like that.
Breaking news.
Go ahead.
Breaking news. So it's been established now that the gunman never shot at the president. It was the Secret Service that shot at the gunman that was ahead of the president in the next hole. He saw him carrying an AK, and the Secret Service agents opened fire and shot 4 times at him. The man dropped the weapon and took off running.
Well, again, that's
where'd
good.
you get that report from? Chad, where'd you get that?
Local West Palm Beach Fox.
All right, go ahead, George.
Wait a second. I'm going to land with this real quick.
Never got a shot off?
Yeah, they're saying on Fox right now that they never got a shot off. That the shots were actually Secret Service.
Jeez, bro.
Which is good. Well, no. That's actually good. That means they did their job, right? But I still think they failed to secure the perimeter on a normal activity like golfing. How can we find confidence that they will secure the perimeter for outdoor rallies, for any other public-facing engagement that President Trump is going to be engaging within the next 49 days until Election Day? How can we avoid President Trump from having the same fate that the Bolivian presidential candidate had last year, that he was killed the day before Election Day? I mean, I don't wish this upon him. I don't wish it upon Kamala, but I find it strikingly different and odd that out of all the protectees that the United States Secret Service has, which are over 100 protectees, that President Trump, being probably the highest profile one of them all, is having so many gaps in his detail. Somebody has to explain this to me a little bit better.
George, you asked an important question. You said, when are we going to take this seriously?
Hey. It looks right here on Fox News. They're taking Trump somewhere. The motorcade is cruising right now down West Palm.
Yeah, they're moving.
They're moving.
They're moving, and it looks like I have a friend who's down there. She took pictures. She's about a mile from the scene at Trump's golf course, and all routes are on lockdown. So that they're probably moving him, and everywhere around is on lockdown, and no one's moving. So.
Yeah, and as they drove by, the none of the cameras worked because they were jamming everything. You can tell. So there's that.
I gotta say one thing. The managers of Palm Beach. This is a lot for that area. I mean, as somebody who goes to Palm Beach often, I can tell you it's not big of a city. It's not big of an area.